the fact, like, is Joe Flacco elite? But that really just begs, what makes a quarterback elite? Eddie, I know that you have some opinions on this.
Personally, I look at rings immediately. You have to look at what you've accomplished, what you've done, and what you can do for a franchise. And we looked at only those three names in your monologue to start: Breeze, Brady, Rodgers. Those are the only three names that really come out there and say, you know, we're going to be with this franchise for at least 10 years, and we're going to lead them to greatness almost every year. And there's just this gap and lack of talent throughout the NFL at the quarterback position that's concerning for the future of the league, because if you're going to maintain a league based on this most important position, how are you going to do it with nothing out there?
Yeah, I agree with that, Eddie, and I think not much time to learn, but those other guys, they sat back there for a few years. That's why Brock Osweiler was supposed to be kind of the next big thing. It's not really turning out that way.
But you know why these quarterbacks have to sit back there and wait? Because we're not training quarterbacks properly at the college level. You're looking around at Division I football, and it's all these spread offenses that are based on just spreading and trying to get the best athletes the ball as possible. And you're looking at the draft, and guys that played on teams like at Cal, Jared Goff, Cal was not competitive in any way, but they ran a pro-style system. So the issue is there's so many programs out there not training quarterbacks to refill the draft with talent.
Yeah, I agree with Eddie right there. He's 31, so there's kind of these new football minds coming through that maybe we're going to see a change to that Mike Holmgren West Coast offense where you sit in the pocket and you pass.
But to counter that, you've looked at teams that have started to try and make that change, and you stare directly at Robert Griffin III, the face of change in the league, the future of this spread offense in the NFL, and then 2 years later, his legs don't work. So injuries are more prevalent in the NFL when you have these scrambling quarterbacks because the defenses are bigger, stronger, and faster. Really, what needs to change is the college football level, and I don't think that's feasible.
Yeah, I agree with Eddie. I don't think that the NFL style will change to these mobile quarterbacks because for fun, I enjoy it because I'm in a league with some of my friends from back home, so it's kind of nice, you know, earning bragging rights over those guys.
See, I hate it with everything in me, from my toes to my hands to my head, and yet I still do it because everyone does it, and that's the issue. With me, fantasy football used to be this fun little thing until it gets to the point where we've got guys like Josh who have 3 teams. I turn on the TV, and there's hour-long fantasy football shows every day, and people are freaking out and telling me who's on their team and what their performances are. I don't care. I just want to watch football, and that's all that matters to me. But I'm in it, and I'm doing fantasy football because that's what all my friends do.
See, that just hurts and I want to stay on the topic of, like, Jared Goff and stay out west, like in Los Angeles, for a little bit, because we're watching the games last weekend. No one was at the LA Coliseum. No one was at Levi's Stadium for the 49ers to watch a game. Do you think that fantasy football has an effect on people actually going to games and watching them? Would they rather just stay home and, like, watch Red Zone?
I think in part it has an impact, but I think fantasy football is part of this bigger entity that is just how far sports media has developed. You sit at home and watch the Red Zone, and it's the coolest experience ever, and you're just sitting there, and it's so easy. You can order buffalo wings, hang out with the boys, do whatever you want.
What we did last week.
Yeah, we just hung out. And it's just so easy for you now and so convenient when you're at home. It almost feels like it's a real game experience. So part of that, I guess, is keeping track of your fantasy team, but in general, I think it's just the whole experience is easier.
Yeah, and I mean, now at games, like during commercial breaks, I mean, they're showing highlights of other games. They have tickers on like little ribbon boards around